Hey y'all, hey, it's Kennita, and on this episode of With Love Kennita, we check in with Bryanna from Koko Beauty Essentials, one of my favorite bath, body, and hair care brands. I love her products. You'll hear more about that in some of the other content I'm releasing this week, as well as me fangirling during our conversation. I had the chance to ask her how her company started, like what was the origin story, and what makes starting a business in Baltimore so incredible. And so I got to hear about all the amazing things that Baltimore does to lift up its entrepreneurs and what's next for some of the products coming up. I hope you enjoy the conversation, and I hope you are subscribed so that you can see the rest of the content I'm releasing this week for Koko Beauty Essentials. Here's the interview. Enjoy. What's up, Bryanna? Welcome to With Love Kennita.
Hey, excited to be here.
Yeah, so excited to have you. You know, you are one of my favorite brands. And so it is so exciting to be able to talk to you and kind of hear some of your brand story and like fangirl a little bit.
Oh,
Because yeah, I want to fangirl about how great your products are. And so let's actually start there. Let's start with fangirl. And so I met you some years ago in Boston
Mhm.
at Inbound. Do you remember anything about that conversation? Because I remember some things about that conversation.
Just remember, I know it was wild because it was a large event and it was my very first large conference. And you were the very first person to talk to me. I remember we sat down and I was like, this is very comfortable. I don't remember the conversation, but I do remember the energy. And I left feeling like, wow, I really like this person. I hope that we can stay connected.
Aww.
Mhm.
So I remember we were in the Inbound was my first really big conference too.
Okay.
And I had actually won a ticket to go. So it was like a big deal for me, like my first conference as a full-time entrepreneur. And we were in the Black affinity space.
Yeah.
And I remember you were telling me about you being in marketing. I was telling you I had a media company and a marketing background. But
Mhm.
the thing that turned everything around for me, you were like, but the thing I really love, and I was like, hold
Mhm.
on, what is that? And he was like, I got a bath and beauty line. And I was like, what? And you started pulling products out of your purse, your sample size products. And I remember going back to the hotel and placing an order. I
Mhm.
bought the strawberry rouge because you were like, we got the travel size too, and you in case you want to start small and then get big, you can do
Yeah,
that
that sounds
too.
like me.
Yeah. And so I went back to the hotel room. I ordered the strawberry rouge body wash and buttercream, and I ordered the coconut cashmere
Mhm.
and the hair oil, the shade
Okay.
mango. And I love this hair oil so much. I buy it for people as gifts. People who have
Oh.
locks, this is
Hmm.
the oil that I buy for them because you have locks. Um, also just remember how vibrant your red hair looked against like your chocolate skin. And I was like,
Okay.
gosh, if I ever could find the time to add extra time to moisturize my hair,
Hmm.
I would add color. I feel like my wash regime is so, like my regimen is so long as is. I can't imagine adding color and like what extra things I would have to do. But then I remember getting your product. Um, Probably like a day or two after I got back home to Milwaukee. And I
Okay.
was like, oh my gosh, this stuff is so good. It is such a good product. Such a good product.
Glad. It's funny because like I'm always in here. I am the person behind creating everything. And so I know that I love the products, but it feels good to hear that other people enjoy them too. Because these are my babies essentially. So of course I'm gonna love them. But when people are like, oh no, listen, I use this before the braid out, or I take my twists out and I have the shea mango and then I have the hemp and rosehip. It's the
Mm,
green one. You can actually see it
yeah.
there. And people love them. So that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think liquid body washes, especially with black owned brands, are have at least when I was first going through it, like
Mhm.
first starting to get into independent brands, very hard to find.
Yeah.
Even now, you can find way more. sugar body scrubs and bar soaps versus liquid body wash. So I really
Mhm.
wanted a liquid body wash. I also wanted something that made me feel really clean. And
Okay.
like, I don't know if I'm just extra dirty or what, but like when I
No.
use yours, I can see the dirt. And it is one of the reasons I love yours so much. And then when you kind of look at the products and the ingredients you use multiple oils in your
Mhm.
products to help to make sure that as you're using the soap or the body butter that it really is adding in moisture as you go. And
Mhm.
I definitely have questions about that more as we get further, but I think first I wanted to kind of hear a little bit more about Baltimore, because you're based in Baltimore, Maryland, right?
I am.
I've never been to Baltimore, and so I'm kind of curious about what makes Baltimore special, and what made it a place where you felt comfortable starting
Mhm.
a bath and body brand.
Yeah, so history. I actually went to, so I'm not a Baltimore native. I am originally, I just say I'm from Maryland because I moved so much. So I actually went to Anne Arundel Community College, which is in uh Anne Arundel County. And I know you don't know about Maryland, but it's a totally different area. And I went to go tour the University of Baltimore. Very small school, very intimate setting. Class sizes are small, but I got to the city and I fell in love. I was like, oh, I love the vibe. It feels, feels like family here. And it was during the time of the riot. So there were, riots happening, fires everywhere. It was only one day. But on the news, it made it seem like there were fires everywhere.
As they do.
But had family like, are you sure that's where you want to go to school? It's burning, it's fire. I'm like, no, listen, it's beautiful. My teachers are amazing. I met friends there that I'm still friends with today. They're like my sisters, my brothers. So I was excited to start a brand in Baltimore just because of how familial it is.
Mhm.
And the culture of entrepreneurship here, a lot of the businesses here are started from Black women, Black families, Black men. They even have a platform called Made in Baltimore, where it has all the crafters and the creators, hand makers. There's a little bit of everybody in there, but a majority of the businesses are Black owned. There's just like a grit here. Everybody is very eager to share their art, and I just, I was excited to do so as well.
So, that makes me wonder, why bath and body products? I mean,
Hmm.
because there is so much on the market, you know what I'm saying? Not to say that there shouldn't be more, but I'm curious about
Hmm.
what made you say, let me try this out. Were you kind of tired of getting your products from other places? Because that's what did it for me. I was like,
Hmm.
I don't want to go to these places to get my bath and body anywhere. I know someone's making it. I need to find those
Yeah.
people.
Actually, it was my sister. So she has really sensitive skin. She has eczema. She always had dry patches just pop up everywhere. And I remember this day we went to the mall. I love fragrances. I love skincare. I was at, I'm not gonna name the name because I'm not getting paid. It's the store with all the scents and all the candles. And immediately she started breaking out. And it was just us being in the atmosphere. And it was, not to say that their products are bad. Her skin was just very sensitive. So I was like, there has to be a way to bridge that gap between good products, things that are good for your skin, but that are also fun. Like you should be able to still have fun with fragrances, whether it's with essential oils or however you're blending it with the perfume oils, and it not cause a reaction, that you're breaking out and now we can't put the skincare on anymore.
Mm.
So I started whipping up stuff in the kitchen as we do. Um, and some stuff worked, some stuff didn't, and that's okay. And I just kept going. But it was initially my sister. So I had like I don't sell it now, but I had like soaps and lotions that had oat milk in it, the honey and things of that nature to help with sensitive skin.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
love oat milk. I love products with honey in it. So it's nice to hear that like you started there and then kind of
Mhm.
expanded out. So you mentioned that you don't have it anymore. Why did you how did the process evolve for you? The recipes evolve. If it started with oat milk and honey, what made you kind of evolve into this other space that you're in now?
Yeah, the time.
Mm.
So, for example, I had like an oat milk lotion, but I would make the oat milk and then I had to strain it, but I also wanted to make sure that it was safe. So I would be doing tests and making sure there wasn't any bacterial growth, and
Oh
then
my gosh.
I would make the lotion, and which should take to make lotion, it really should only take maybe a day or two, depending on how large the batch is. But it would take almost a week. And that did not include the packaging and the labeling, and having things like oat milk also reduces the shelf life. So I felt like, although it can be done, how fair would it be to have a product, give it to a customer, and then, just due to the nature of the ingredients, it doesn't really last long. So they're spending all this money, and then as soon as it gets on their shelf, then we only have a couple of weeks to use it. So I
Mm.
definitely wanted to make sure that I was formulating things that were still good for the skin, but also last a little bit longer than a couple months,
Mhm.
at least. Hmm.
Yeah, I will say that the shelf life on your products is really good. I don't remember the last time I made a purchase, so that must mean it's been at least a year. I know for sure
Hmm.
we talking probably late 2024, early 2025.
Okay.
Those products are still good. I'm still using them. This time I bought the large size of the body wash and the buttercream.
Hmm.
Um and I'm still using it. But I'm also somebody who has, I may be working with 8 different scents of
Uh-huh.
something. Because there's just so many good bath and body
The
brands
thing
with
is,
like
you can
different scents.
tell when the lotion goes bad, it starts separating. It's like, is this lotion or is this?
And that has not been happening because I definitely would have slid in your DM like, is it still good to use? No, it's
Mhm.
it that has not happened. It still smells good. It doesn't smell stale. And so I'm
Mhm.
really, really impressed with how long your products last.
Okay.
Um
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
yeah, they're really good. Now by trade, you are actually in marketing. So this
Mhm.
it feels like Koko Beauty Essentials almost is like a second job then.
Yeah,
If it's taking you a week to do lotion potentially, like that's a lot.
it is. And unfortunately, I'm a perfectionist. So which, has contributed to certain things, maybe taking a pause in production, or taking a while to get back on the shelves. Because I'm like, you know, could I sell this? I could, but I want to give people something that's perfect, or at least near perfect. Um, and that plays into marketing a little bit. With marketing, that comes with the testing and making sure that things go out well before they hit whatever, so there's no errors. So a little of that comes into to play with the business.
And so I'm curious, is this something you eventually want to be full time? Or do you always,
Mhm.
so there's some businesses I talk to and they're like, nah, I'm cool with this feeling like a second job because I really love my full-time
Mhm.
job. I never want to leave that, right? And there are other people that are like, no, I want to not only make the jump into full-time, but I eventually want my company to be acquired. I'm curious about what are some of your dreams for Koko Beauty? Or have you given it any thought yet?
So I have to say, I'm still thinking about that because I love marketing. I love setting up a campaign. I love seeing it grow and designing it and breathing and then looking at the analytics behind it. But I also do love my brand and putting a lot of the marketing techniques to it to make sure that it's still running. So I don't know. I know that like I don't foresee myself doing this for 30, 40 years, but the hope would be to have at least a team, because I don't know if I would enjoy seeing it die either. So I don't know. I know some people are like, I'm gonna sell it as soon as I get 3 million. It's like, do I want to sell? Do I want to build a team? I don't know.
Well, that's good. You're the first person I've talked to who's been like, I'm not quite sure. I think
Hmm.
there's so many, me and my mom have had these conversations about pathways to wealth for like Black people.
Hmm.
Whether, that's home ownership for some folks and this idea of generational wealth and having a thing that passes down. Or, lately her and I have been talking a lot about the acquisition of companies and how
Hmm.
sometimes when they're acquired, the products change, but they have to change so that they're
Yeah.
profitable to the shareholders. And you know, you see people take various paths. I'm always heartbroken when a business is acquired
Hmm.
because I think my trigger is that the product is going to change because
Yeah.
people now have to make a larger profit off of it. And I immediately go
Hmm.
searching for something new. So your oil actually replaced an oil that I used to use that got acquired.
Uh-oh. Okay.
And I was like, I seen a lot of our friends from the global minority, white girls
Mhm.
on TikTok using this oil. And I was like, oh Lord, it ain't ours no
So,
more. And so
yeah.
I was like, the ingredients are gonna change. Let me make some moves. And found yours right around that time. And it is like my staple hair care product. I use it for my
Mhm.
hot oil treatments. This is the product that I use. And yeah, that it's the hill that I'm gonna die on. That's
Yeah. I think that's a good topic because and that's another reason why I take a pause with that because I too don't like to see companies get acquired. Like I understand because usually what happens is something similar to me. Somebody is in everything. They're handling the production, they're handling the marketing. And so it's
mhm,
like, all right, I want to be done. But another pathway is okay, how can I start acquiring team members so that if I do want to leave, maybe I just want to be the CEO that just comes in, make sure everybody's doing everything. I can do that. It does take a little bit of time because you then have to build and hire and train. And selling could be easier, but I don't know. It would break my heart to do so personally.
and you know, with your marketing background, how does that play a role in the company? Because yes, as an entrepreneur, people take on multiple roles, but
Hmm.
one of these roles you're actually really good at. A lot of people
Hmm.
who become entrepreneurs, they are not necessarily good at marketing. This is
Yeah.
something you do by trade. How does that impact your business? How has it impacted your ability to connect with consumers and to get
Hmm.
your messaging out?
It's definitely helped. Now I know I have been slacking on the marketing. It's my job. But then it's like, dang, I have to plan the social posts and I think the unfortunate side to it is as somebody who's in marketing, I know everything that goes into it.
Mhm.
So then I can overwhelm myself because for a solid campaign, you're supposed to do the market research. You're supposed to have things planned out and scheduled. And it's like, oof, I just did that at my job. Now I got to come home and do this. I don't want to do it. So I think that's the unfortunate part of it. If I didn't work in marketing, I could see myself having more energy to it. But the positive side is I know of all the tips and tricks to kind of still contribute to marketing and still contribute to getting the brand out there without having to do things every day.
Mhm.
And that's some of the things that have been able to keep me in business since I started.
And so, do you, as a marketer, find that you're trying to build like online marketing and offline marketing? Because for me,
Hmm.
I love offline marketing more. I love an
Hmm.
opportunity to put up flyers for as a part of a campaign or like get in some PR and some media hits. I'm curious how you look at that. Do you prefer one to the other?
So, and because I'm a shy person,
Oh,
so initially I really, really just like digital marketing. So I'm like, I don't want to speak to people. I don't want to do this. But as I've grown as a person, I actually really do enjoy being able to be in front of people, giving them a chance to smell things or ask me questions to get to experience the brand. And you can't really do that digitally. You can do some things. You might be able to encourage people to visit the website. Um, I think it was last year. It's 2026. Yeah, it was either last year or 2 years ago. I did BlurredCon, which is it's a Black nerd convention here in the
hmm.
DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And it was my very first big in-person event. I did like 10 times the amount of sales that I normally do in a month. And it was just me being able to talk to people. I also had my sister and her friend there. Listen, we were working the crowd and being able to see people really gravitate towards the product, the story behind the brand, or the story behind whatever product they were interested in. And I was like, oh, okay, no, this is where it's at. Digital is pretty cool. You can have your portfolio, but actually being in front of people and talking to them and having them experience things, it's my favorite. So I'm still team shy, but as soon as I'm in front of somebody, I'm like, oh, you have dry skin? Well, we have sensitive skin. You know, we have this, we have that. I enjoy it.
I'll say that the product really does kind of speak for itself. When I'm describing
Mm-hmm.
specifically your butter cream to other people, I tell them like it's not like on the spectrum, it's not as heavy, it's not as light as a lotion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but it's also not as heavy as like a whipped shea butter.
Mm-hmm.
Cause so for me, it's like lotion, then your product, then a whipped shea butter, then like a straight shea butter
Mm-hmm.
mix. And so it's nice because it still moisturizes. Cause once I started using whipped shea butter, I could not go back to regular lotion.
Yeah, you
I couldn't.
can't. It's hard.
It's hard. You can't. And then when I tried yours, I was like, okay, well, it doesn't feel as dense, but it's so much other stuff in here. It's not just a lotion. It does still have some weight to it.
Mm-hmm.
Once you try it and once you smell it, like even the men's stuff that you have,
Mm-hmm.
I bought a couple of those products for my partner and let him smell it, and he really enjoyed it. And I was like, you also don't see a lot of Black women fronted companies that also have space or
Mm-hmm.
products for men, and so I love that about your line as well.
Yeah, I also realized that too. And it only happened, I did a smaller event and I just had at the time stuff for women, but I have a huge male support base. So they really love the oil. They really love like the liquid castle soap. And they were
Mm,
like, well, what about, you have any cologne? I was like, you know what? Let me get on that. They really enjoy it. And you wouldn't think that even before I had products dedicated to them, they still supported a lot. They still were purchasing and making a lot of orders. So it felt natural to do that. Also, I really like some of the scents for the men as well. I'm like,
mhm.
ooh, this is sometimes when I'm making, I have leftovers in the bowl. So I just put everything in like a jar for myself and I'll just put it on like, oh, okay, no, this is nice.
Yeah, I think our generation. Gen, I don't know, what are we? We're not Xers. Gen Y. Are we Gen Y? I don't know.
I am
Whatever.
right on the cusp of millennial and Gen Z. I'm in
Okay.
95. I'm right at the end.
So I'm definitely a millennial. I'm
Hmm.
84. And it's nice that our millennial men are starting to get into to skincare.
Hmm.
Um, I stay in my homeboys' DMs like, listen, here's a mask you can use. It is not it don't smell super girly.
Hmm.
It don't smell like hibiscus or rose. You need to, and so it's really interesting to be having these conversations with my homeboys.
Hmm.
But to also see so many men on Instagram starting
Yeah.
to do content about skincare and hair care. And I'm like, I love this. I love this for Black men. Black men
Hmm.
taking care of themselves is a good thing.
And it's funny that you say that because a lot of the what I would consider very masculine scents. So I have like Modern Legend or King. They're very earthy, very,
I
very
bought King.
strong.
Hmm.
The ones that are sweeter and lighter, like vintage sandalwood or bourbon vanilla, they like those are top selling every month. So men are getting into skincare, but they're not even going for the very like scent. They're
Yeah.
going for the softer, cleaner fragrances.
Those scents are it. I'm trying to find the right words because I don't like to use like that's a feminine scent or a girly
Hmm.
scent because I think scents are scents. Some men
Hmm.
like to smell like roses, and I love that for them.
Hmm.
Some women do not. I love that for them. For me, I feel like on the scent wheel, like I'm kind of all over the place. I really prefer fresh and green scents,
Okay.
but I'm also a vanilla girly, and vanilla is
Hmm.
just it is hard to do without it smelling cheap.
Hmm.
And I think once you smell yours, that store that you and your sister went into,
Yeah.
like theirs don't smell the same.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you like, this smells, it's very easy for like rose and vanilla to feel artificial.
Yeah.
And so it's so hard to get it right. And I think with both the coconut cashmere, which had a little bit of vanilla in it for me, but
Mm-hmm.
and the vanilla amber, like they're so well done. They don't smell
You.
artificial. They are just so well done. And like I'm wearing it for myself just because I like
Hmm.
it. Because
I
I
was
like
gonna
to, this is
say
what I
you
want to wear.
you clocked me the other day. I made a post and you're like, it's something cinnamon in it. I was like, oh, she found the secret.
The warmth of it, every time I put it on, I'm like, yo. And so I literally, every time I wear it, I'm coming to your website because I'm like, I know it's some cinnamon in here, but
Mm-hmm.
it ain't on the website. But every time I wear this, I can smell the warmth of cinnamon, which is one of the Ayurvedic spices that I love. So I eat
Mm-hmm.
cinnamon in a lot of like my fruit bowls and yogurt bowls. But just like smelling it in yours, it's such a good way to like ground you for the day.
Yeah. It also enhances it's like a white amber in there, kind of enhance
Mm.
that base. It just kind of pulls through once the vanilla top notes fade a little bit.
So this was not one of my questions, but now it is. Cause now I'm like, well, how does that process even start where you're like mixing scents together? Like what made you think like, oh, cinnamon might work really well in here? Like what does that process look like when you're putting your scent profiles together
Mm-hmm.
before they get into the bath and body product?
So this is why I have a background up. It usually looks pretty chaotic in my studio, and I have a bunch of oils and bases around. I know that I wanted the vanilla to be warm and inviting. So
Mm.
there are some things that can make it warm and inviting, and it was just in my heart to use something like cinnamon. But usually it's a bunch of tests, right? Just testing to see like how much of something would throw this off or enhance it. And vanilla is such a hard thing to work with because, like you mentioned, it can smell fake or it can smell too cakey or too sweet. So how do we what can we put in here to ground it a little bit? Cinnamon was the one that worked the best for me. Hmm.
Mhm. Now, while we're talking about the product specifically, I want to touch on this before we end our interview. You put up a post a couple weeks ago that you were you were kind of pulling some of the products back, and
Hmm.
you really wanted to work on enhancing the formula.
Yeah.
What did you find about the formula that needed reworking? Because I was like, this body wash is perfect. What are we doing here?
Hmm.
And then I was also scared because I was like, Lord, please don't take away my hair oil. And you was like, no,
Oh.
hair oil is good, but we gonna do some changes to the bath and
Hmm.
body product. So like, what led to that decision, and what do you see that becoming?
Yeah, so the soap base that I use is a pure soap. So I sit here and make the uh base by hand with olive oil and coconut oil. Because of that though, there are some fragrances and essential oils that don't really mesh well with olive
Mm.
oil and coconut oil. If you ever have a chance to like, even if you're using lavender or lemongrass or whatever, you can still smell hints of the olive oil or coconut oil from the base. And because of that, for something like, for example, coconut cashmere, the very first thing you might smell is olive oil because it's stronger than vanilla. I just, again, that's the perfectionist in me. I'm like, no, I want to make sure that if somebody is getting coconut cashmere or tropical kisses, that that's what they're smelling and they're not getting olive oil and coconut oil first. So that was it. I'm a perfectionist and I want to make sure that if I'm selling a body wash, it performs well. And then for some of the scents for, vanilla and the lemongrass and some of the other citrus essential oils, they will kind of alter the appearance of the soap. It's natural. Vanilla will get darker with the appearance of water and then air. So
Mm.
I would be sending soap and it's like, hey, I bought this and it was brown, but now it's black. And it's like, it's natural. It's a natural process of vanilla, but I also, wouldn't want somebody to feel like I sent them some tar soap when it's
Right.
the it's the fragrance. So that's it. It wasn't me like, listen, y'all, I'm shutting down my shop and that's it, and whatever's here. Um, That's it. That's all you're going to get. But I do want to make sure that I'm sending a quality body wash. And then for some of the scents, as a business owner, I still want to make sure that I'm running a business. So, if there's something that's not moving like I feel like it should, have to consider should it still be available. So four of the scents didn't make the cut, unfortunately.
Okay, what four scents are those?
So pink diamonds and glamour for the perfume oils, and then aqua and indigo are the two. Yeah.
Okay, so those are not ones
For
that
now,
I
but
purchased.
the other girls are on the chopping block too.
What other girls?
Listen, if they not moving, they on the chopping block. Now, I will say, I will consider doing like a limited edition, like maybe the Christmas, Thanksgiving time, bringing some of those back. Because I did get a few messages. They were like, Lord, not the pink diamonds. But I was like, hey, where were you? Where were you past 18 months now?
Yes.
So yeah.
No, I think in terms of small businesses, it's important to begin having those conversations because look, you're not a big box store. And what it costs for you to make things and keep it on the shelf, waiting for someone to eventually buy it. Yes, your products are shelf stable, but you also using all natural ingredients. There are no preservatives, so it's not gonna last forever. Um, and you have to be able to manage like your space and what do I have capacity to actually hold on to while I wait for people to buy it. And I think there's so many things about being a small business and having that consumers don't understand. And so I really wanted this to be a space where we could start to have those conversations where we are educating consumers on like, yo, if it's not selling, I can't hold on to it, right? Because you don't want a batch of pink diamonds that's been sitting for 2 years. I also can't continue to make pink diamonds waiting on somebody to buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Whether it's just the two solid people, and it's like I love you, but it's just two of you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so I think there's work to be done about how do we transition people. I say transition people because I think that shopping small is liberation. I think it's revolutionary. I think that without businesses like yours, we are only left with certain options that we really don't want. So I think as a community, as a global community, we have to divest from some of these larger institutions and reinvest into businesses like yours to make sure that you stay around forever, or at least that you stay around as long as you want to, and people are able to get all of the products that they want because we're willing to make that investment. So anyways, that's my soapbox for the day. We are actually out of time, but you can always come. But you can always come back and we can have more conversations because I wanted to like pick your marketing brain and learn more about that process with Koko Beauty Essentials. I'm just such a big fan of Black women doing amazing things. You are doing amazing things. I'm so proud of you. So proud of the company, so proud of the product that you have. Yeah, thank you so much for making time this morning to chat.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was fun. We definitely need to talk. I have some new things happening in the marketing front. I'm hoping to do more in-person events. So yeah.